Hello, and thanks for joining us on your channel of choice, Africa Independent Television AIT, and welcome to the Signature Show. I'm Wabozen Joko, and in this edition of the program, he who cannot provide for his family is worse than an infidel, and yet you will see with your own eyes. 2023 elections, how can we ensure the integrity of the process? Atiku Abubakar's sell-off paradigm, Nigeria's oil sector, and the challenge of accountability. Plus, thank you and corruption Tory. Please stay with us. Their labor of integrity should not be in vain. The ordinary Nigerian, the mechanic, the driver, the cleaner, road transport worker, market men and women, and even the civil servant. They have stood on the right side of life, refused to bend to corruption, insisting that honesty and integrity remain the best policy. On December the 9th, 2022, your nationally rated Pidgin English anti-corruption television program, Corruption Tory, will honor these unsung Nigerians. Find them, nominate them, say what deed of honor they have done, and Corruption Tory will celebrate and reward them in an award ceremony in Abuja, Nigeria on December the 9th, 2022. Successful nominees from outside of Abuja will be given an all-expenses-paid trip to the event. Send your nominations to corruptiontory@gmail.com before November the 30th, 2022. At the same event, the best 3 secondary school students and their schools in Corruption Tory National Anti-Corruption Essay Competition will be announced and rewarded. Join us. Now, this Sunday, I will bring us a video and ask if the Holy Book is not correct, that he who cannot provide for his family and leaves them to the winds of social emotion is worse than an infidel. The video you're about to watch is alleged to be that of some young Nigerians whom a Turkish national has taken pity on and now provide them a meal a day because their parents and religious system have conspired to kill all sense of self-worth, shame, and human dignity in them. Now they rejoice because it's time to be given some semblance of humanity, to be sure of a meal which parents and religion have denied them and turned them into street children. Well, penultimate Tuesday, the tail began to wag the dog in Nigeria's education system. Minister of Labor, Dr. Chris Ngige, was visibly comfortable rationalizing the payment of half salary to Nigerian university teachers who just suspended their 8-month-long strike. Now, according to Ngige, the teachers have been paid half salary or even less half salary on pro rata basis, which means that they got paid for the days they worked. Dr. Ngige is a high flyer, I know that, and I'm not sure that his academic record has been surpassed. But in this matter, Dr. Ngige is making his own lecturers, the very top dogs who produced him, the tails of our reward system. Am I sure that is what he intends to do? Nigerians have been speaking on the half salary paid to ASU members who returned to the classroom after 8-month-long strike.
The lecturer are the people that are supposed to be well paid and well treated well. Because for anybody to be anything in this country, it is by lecturer. So you can't be keeping them hunger and you are calling them to come and resume strike without paying them. I did support the move of government. It's too bad. And if care is not taken, if this thing continues like this, then our education is going to be down. And what is matter is because their children are not schooling here. If their children are schooling here, I believe they will take care of them. They will even do what they're supposed to do. How can you be giving a peanut to somebody that is even due for more than any other thing? No allocation, nothing like salary, 2 bags, accommodation, everything, and other allowances. So it's too bad.
I think both the ASUU and the federal government should come to a level and agree for the sake of these innocent children. So ASUU should just calmly collect the help. Since the federal government agree to give them the help, I think it will be better for the both party for the sake of the children and their parents. These children have sit for home for long, so they should just please and take the half salary that the federal government are willing to pay them.
Nobody is happy. We are talking about the futures of this country. We are talking about the future, the life of this country. We cannot say, how can you give them half salary? Do you know the cost of things in the market now? Do you know what those lecturers are passing through? Have you gone to the four walls of the classroom? The stress. And those people were sleeping in the legislative house, in National Assembly, doing nothing, passing nonsense bills. And the people that are giving the futures to this country, the teachers, the lecturers, and they are victimizing them, giving them half salary for what? Nigerians are not happy.
I believe there is understanding. The ASUU should understand that the federal governments are there for the people, not as in for both the lecturers and the students as well. So once the federal governments have felt like, okay, they are putting the life of students at risk, and the ASUU as well know that, okay, the life of students, they are toying with their lives or whatever, I believe they will have that thinking, okay, this is the right thing for us to do, this is the right thing.
I see no reason why the teachers should be given half salary. Teachers should be taken serious. All of them in their various leadership capacity today were there because somebody taught them, somebody led them, somebody encouraged them and gave them hope while they were growing. But now they are leaders and they don't respect these people. It's not heard of, it's not called for. So I don't like the way the federal government is treating the teacher.
Well, the Hubert Humphrey Alumni Association last week raised a major issue in Nigeria's election: the question of integrity of the process. The challenge of the integrity of the 2023 election has been of concern to many Nigerians, and the U.S. Embassy said in Abuja while contributing to that seminar on the issue organized by Hubert Humphrey Alumni Association on Thursday, that as much as Nigeria and INEC have made progress in Nigeria's electoral process, Nigerians should not take their democracy for granted. The integrity of the 2023 election, the subject of our first conversation this Sunday with two critical stakeholders in Nigeria's election. Please stay with us. First, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Great. This morning was interesting, and one issue kept resounding, and that is INEC comfortable with the preparations it has made in respect of the integrity of this election?
We are comfortable with where we are as at present. Right from beginning, we knew that Nigerians expect so much from us. And based on what Nigerians expect from us, we started preparations very early. As far as the Commission is concerned, there's no activity that is too small to be planned. And we have been planning, and we've been planning well. There are two basic instruments, so to say, that we need for this election. One, the INEC voter enrollment device, which we configured and used for voter enrollment. Secondly, is the BVAS, which we have to deploy to the 176,846 polling units, and also have redundancies in the 8,809 registration areas. As far as the Commission is concerned, we have already taken delivery of the BVAS for over 27 states of the Federation. And we are confident that by December, we are going to take delivery of the remaining BVAS for all the states of the Federation. Not only that, we are also going to conduct what we call mock accreditation in all the senatorial districts of Nigeria before the 2023 general election. We have also started robust training of our registration area support staff. These are the people who are going to be in charge of making sure that nothing goes wrong with the BVAS and the INEC Result Viewing Portal on election day. We have also launched the portal for harvesting of youth corps members and other students of federal tertiary institutions that are going to assist the commission in the conduct of election. And as has been pointed out, we need almost 1.4 million ad hoc staff for this particular election. And so we are already harvesting them. We have also started what we call major and minor renovation of both our local government offices and our state offices, getting them ready for this election. The voting cubicles for the conduct of election, the ballot boxes are already in place. And so in terms of our preparations, we are very comfortable.
Some of your offices that have suffered vandalism, what are you doing about them?
Well, we've had a meeting with the security agencies under the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, relating to the safety and security of our offices, relating to the safety and security of our staff. The security agencies have agreed to beef up security in all our offices and assets. So we are going to have a team made up of the police, the army, the DSS, the Federal Fire Service, and other security agencies around our 774 local government offices and our state offices.
In order for somebody to put a fake name, a foreign name, to put underage person, that such people want to undermine the job of INEC. Is INEC under pressure to compromise the 2023 election?
No, we are not under pressure to compromise the 2023 election. During voters registration exercise, sometimes we employ over 4,000 staff, both regular staff of the commission and ad hoc staff of the commission to carry out this particular exercise. And for each registration that is done, the registration officer is given an access code to our platform. So the moment you carry out any malicious registration, it records that you are the one that carried out the malicious registration. As at present, some INEC staff are undergoing disciplinary procedures in relation to what they did during the registration exercise. And all those who are found wanting will definitely be dealt with in accordance with the law. And those who have committed criminal infraction, we are going to make sure that we also prosecute them. But in terms of pressure from outside on the commission to compromise the 2023 general election, I don't think that anybody can compromise this election, because our allegiance is to the people of this country.
Mr. Okoye, please address me on a fear being expressed that a particular political interest has in fact hijacked your ICT system by, one, making sure that each staff have been recruited into INEC, two, by pushing money to control certain things in INEC. Address me on that and clear my worries.
Well, I joined the commission as a national commissioner in 2018. And since 2018 to date, the commission has not recruited a single staff. So we don't have any new staff in the commission. All the staff in the commission are old staff. Secondly, the way the commission works is different. There are 12 national commissioners and a chairman. We make the policies. We have departments, and these departments report to committees, and the committees report to the commission, which is made up of the chairman and 12 national commissioners. So it is difficult for a political interest to take control of the commission.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Yeah, welcome to the conversation.
Very much, thanks.
The challenge of having integrity in elections. With the kind of people in Nigerian politics, the way the political parties are playing it, are you afraid that Nigeria may not really get integrity in its elections?
Well, there's every reason to be concerned that the probability or the chances of ensuring electoral integrity are very slim. And this had been a permanent feature of Nigeria's electoral process since return to democracy. And we've had a checkered political history. And year in, year out, where the clamor for electoral reform has not ceased. And the reason is you have a political class that is determined to seize political power without fidelity and respect for democratic ethics and principles. You have a crop of politicians who don't believe in credible elections. They believe that it's a do or die affair to secure political power. And so democratic institutions are undermined and attacked, to a large extent even decimated, because they don't want to be held to account. So you have politicians who love political power, care less about legitimacy, but they just are interested in access to our resources. And it's not about the common good. And so it explains it all. But are there efforts to ensure the integrity of the electoral process? There have been concerted efforts, and I give it to citizens, because citizens have been at the heart of demanding that their votes will count. It's not the politicians, it's citizens who have been demanding that their votes will count.
Now, in this multiplicity of actors, one thing should be driving them: a certain set of values. The people believe and act in accordance with the values to which they subscribe. When all of us got together to chase out the military, we seem to have left a vacuum. That vacuum seems to be that there was no effort in chasing out the military to create an electoral value, a political value. So when the military was chased out, flotsams, jetsams, 419ers, people who could buy into power, hijacked the space. And they seem to be the commanding heights of determining our political value today. Did we make an error in just chasing out the military without creating a preceding electoral value, political value, to drive what we have today?
I wouldn't frame it as an error. I would frame it as a gap. And secondly, there wasn't enough conversation. Because the only opportunity that people and citizens had was to negotiate a new constitution that was centered on certain principles. But were citizens given the opportunity to do so? No, because the military teleguided the entire constitutional amendment and constitutional review process. The whole 1998 to 1999 constitution, for the most part, the 1999 constitution as amended is a replica of the 1979 constitution. And if you check the Constituent Assembly and how they were constituted, you still had military influence. And so to a large extent, the people were not given that opportunity because there were still vestiges of the old order that shaped the conversation. What is a conversation if it's not open, if it's not inclusive, and if it's not based on certain principles? And that's the principles of objectivity, the principles of the courage to speak truth to power. So I wouldn't frame that as an error. Have there been opportunities in the last 23 years of democratic experience where we had an opportunity to renegotiate? There has been. But like you identified, the political space is saturated by individuals who have no respect and regards for values. And I think that what is critical at this moment is citizens are beginning to take power back, from this microscopic or the top 1%. But now citizens are asking fundamental questions. If you look at the forthcoming elections, or let's even look at the electoral law, when these same actors decided to delete electronic transmission of results from the electoral bill, when they decided to undermine INEC's power, when they removed from some provisions in the act, citizens pushed back. They had no choice but to reverse themselves. That was a unique opportunity, and it's a demonstration of how citizens are exerting them and asserting themselves.
At present, how involved is the Nigerian thinking class in creating political value, in creating citizen buy-in, in designing citizen expectation?
In terms of the thought process, Nigeria is not bereft of thought leadership. It's not. There have been several constitutional conferences. There have been several attempts, to redesign what Nigeria is, reimagine Nigeria. But the big question still lies with the political will to implement. And I think it goes beyond the political will to the courage to take difficult decisions that will fix the development crisis as well as the leadership crisis that Nigeria faces. The engine room, the lab, the theater where intellectuals are formed, they are nurtured, and they exhibit and produce, resources that shape statecraft, our academic institutions. And you and I know what the education system is actually grappling with. And it does require reforms because you have a political class that believes that their continuous stay in power is dependent on how they oppress, how they repress, and how they limit the potential that the country actually has and not harness them.
Thank you very much.
Always a delight. Thank you.
Their labor of integrity should not be in vain. The ordinary Nigerian, the mechanic, the driver, the cleaner, road transport worker, market men and women, and even the civil servant. They have stood on the right side of life, refused to bend to corruption, insisting that honesty and integrity remain the best policy. On December the 9th, 2022, your nationally rated Pidgin English anti-corruption television program, Corruption Tori, will honor these unsung Nigerians. Find them, nominate them, say what deed of honor they have done, and Corruption Tori will celebrate and reward them in an award ceremony in Abuja, Nigeria on December the 9th, 2022. Successful nominees from outside of Abuja will be given an all-expenses-paid trip to the event. Send your nominations to corruptiontori@gmail.com before November the 30th, 2022. At the same event, the best 3 secondary school students and their schools in Corruption Tori National Anti-Corruption Essay Competition will be announced and rewarded. Join us. Now, the presidential candidate of PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has been repeating his lines which he presented to Nigerians in the 2019 election. He says he will sell off Nigeria's ailing and resource-draining refineries, privatize NNPC, and allow the private sector to drive Nigeria's oil industry. Now, once on this program, we raised the issue of which or who of the 3 presidential candidates, Atiku, Obi, or Tinubu, could dare the fuel subsidy monster. Now, in our next interview this Sunday, we interrogate Atiku Abubakar's private sector paradigm for Nigeria's oil sector. My guest, Sergius Ogun, a member of Nigeria's House of Representatives and member House Committee on Upstream Downstream sector of the industry. Please stay with us. Honorable, and welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much, sir.
Are you worried that our conversation today about price of products in Nigeria is so harsh, so inflammatory, so combative, and people seem to be protesting loudly?
Yeah, I'm very concerned. I just came back from the constituency where I bought petrol for 300 naira per litre in my constituency of Esan Northeast, Esan Southeast. And even before I go into the constituency, I was already called to say it's going for between 450 and 500. So I was able to get into a filling station to buy. That was comforting for me because if you are buying from black market, you don't know what you are buying. And if I have to fuel 2-3 cars for that, imagine the average Nigerian. I don't like using the word ordinary Nigerian. How what they are going through to convey things to the market or to bring things from the farm to the market. So people are worried, and people are uncertain of the future. So if I want to go into your introduction, I think I'm 100% support of what the presidential candidate of the PDP is saying. But what I don't know is, has he modulated the statement he made before in 2018-19 when he contested that he will sell NNPC? I'm more inclined to that. Yeah, but the challenge will be, what are we going to do with the money? If you sell NNPC today, the entire assets, granted that you still have the companies operating will still have to pay royalties of what's on the ground. But if you sell today, for example, and you get $1 trillion, that would do a whole lot for our country. Also knowing that oil is going to be a wasted asset in a very short time. But what are you going to do with the money, knowing the profligacy of the past? Is it going to be blown by one administration, and then we woke up a poor nation, unable to account for the money?
Can we interrogate that article's promise a little deeper?
Yes. I think that's what we need today. Because now we have NNPC Limited. That is a limited liability. So it should be run properly. It's no longer a corporation of government. So ordinarily, if we allow the private hands to run it, the decisions will now be strictly commercial. If we do that, we will save ourselves from the mistakes of the past. Because if I have a stake in NNPC, my thinking is not how to employ my brother or how to take a product to a certain place to benefit certain people, because it's strictly commercial. So that's why I agree 100% with him. But when you talk about privatizing NNPC, Nigerians don't see, most Nigerians, their minds go to the ones that didn't work. NEPA. But what about the telecommunication? That one worked. I can give you an example of even Eco Hotel. Then I think it's even Ikoyi Hotel also. I think it's now Southern Sun. There are so many that worked well, and they provide the service. It's not so much money. It's not the money you make from it. It's the future. It's like saying, give out an asset. Give it out. Don't make any money from it. But the tax, if you're able to get that asset to work and properly managed, the tax they will pay to the country, you make a lot of money from it. The service it will provide, the people you will employ. Yeah. So most times people are looking at, you are selling an asset for this amount of money, is actually worth this amount of money. But you can sell an asset for so much, and that will be the end. So that's what I'm saying. If you give it out, just give it out, don't make a dime on it. Maybe the word is concession. But let's say we are not in concession. You say, okay, take is a dash. Manage it well. Those things that you benefit, the tax it will pay going forward, because it's not properly managed. The number of people that we were employed, that will also pay tax, and the service that will be rendered to the public. If it's a hotel, I need a hall, it's properly managed. Rather than moving events to South Africa or neighboring countries, the events will hold here. People will supply drinks, supply food. That will be ushers and all that. All that brings money into the economy. So that's why I agree 100% with the presidential candidate of PDP. If we need to know the blueprint, he wants to apply for the privatization. Selling the refineries, they did. Himself and his principal, Obasanjo, they sold the refineries to Dangote and his friends.
That were reversed.
Yes. If it was not reversed by Yaradua, Dangote and Co. would have been running the refineries smoothly. Look at what happened, that when that failed, he now started building his own that's almost ready. So you imagine if that sale had gone through and they're managing it well. Now, basically what is happening, all the monies we are making, they're supposed to be windfall from crude oil. We are using to import petroleum products. That's why we have scarcity of dollars in the country. That's why we are not able to pay the airlines or meet our obligations to our foreign partners. So we would have been refining here, creating jobs, and then be selling our crude oil.
Can we look at the politics of the promise by Atiku Abubakar? Yes. The president, through the Petroleum Industry Act, has created the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. And the president says to us, we are all shareholders. Atiku Abubakar says he will privatize it. Can Atiku Abubakar, as a president, privatize NNPC effectively without a word, a voice, and input from the state governments? Can it work? Because NNPC is not just a company, it is a political company.
Yes, he can with input from the state governors. Like the PI, the governors they made input in a way, but I don't know how much of that went through. Like I can tell you for free, the way it's constituted now, the board, now the ownership, we have 200 billion shares, then head for all of us by Ministry of Petroleum Incorporated and Ministry of Finance. The governors, I think, wanted to be on the board and all that, but I don't think they succeeded. So I know they are not happy the way it's constituted right now. So if the president, if you have a president article and says, I want to privatize it, I'm sure the governors will be happy. It depends on the terms. That's why we're talking about his blueprint. It depends on the terms. But I still think part of the plans going forward is to privatize NNPC Limited. Because in the course of the PIB that now became PIA, we had mentioned, look at Saudi Aramco. They sold only, is it 5% shares? And look at, they became the biggest company in the world as at that time. You know, and if you remember, the then Minister of State Petroleum, Ibe Kachuku, had said in 2017 that they were going to go public. He started having problems after making that statement. You know, so it's been in the works. So I strongly believe the governors will support it if he's able to sell it to them. And I think that's going to be the future, really, because the biggest problem NNPC has is the government. Now you say it's NNPC Limited. Can you tell me that the group CEO can make decisions without recourse to the Aso Rock Villa? And unfortunately now, the president is the Minister of Petroleum. Because if it's truly limited, if it's a limited liability company, you don't have to be running to the president to make decisions. You make decisions in the best interest of the company. But that's not the case today. So I agree 100% with the presidential candidate of PDP, privatize NNPC, the government should
sell out the refineries?
They were sold. It should be sold like yesterday. Yeah, because what we are pumping in now, because somebody asked the present Minister of State for Petroleum, that why spend billions of dollars to rehabilitate or refurbish them? And you said we might sell in the future. They say, why don't you sell now? He claimed that, well, the state they are in, nobody's willing to buy. So why pumping billions that can actually build brand new ones? And then maybe you want to sell. Because he has said that, well, let's fix it first and then we might want to sell. Who will buy? You know? Yeah, but I think it's also better at times to save. In business, you might be saving some money and making losses in the future. Lose money now and make profit in the future. What I'm trying to say is we have sunk billions now. Maybe if you sell it, that's the example I gave before. If you sell them today to those that can manage them properly, you might lose that money with which you have refurbished them, but in the long run they will produce, which will be in the general interest of everybody. It will mean that we don't have to be importing, taking out dollars to bring in refined products.
Yeah, but Honorable, the Nigeria Labour Congress as a union has consistently argued against liberalization of the oil sector because it says it's the engine that drives the national economy. And if it's allowed to be driven by market forces, the very people they represent, the worker, will be at the short end of the stick. Does this argument not a little bit water down Atiku Abubakar's move? Doesn't it make it a little inconsiderate?
Yeah, but I just think the NLC, most times they're playing to the gallery. But I heard that they had softened that position and had even agreed for the president to go ahead and deregulate the downstream sector. But that a certain senator went to the president, after everybody agreed, governors, everybody agreed, went to the president and said, if you do that, Nigeria will be on fire. Don't do it. And the president listened to him. I heard this from NNPC direct, or we heard it from this NNPC directly during an investigation. But they refused to name the name. But your guess is as good as mine. For that senator to be that powerful to talk to the president, you should know who the senator is. You know? So it's no longer an issue of NLC. I think they have realized what is on ground and the facts, maybe based on advice from economists and all that. And they have said, go ahead.
Allow me delve into the politics of oil in Nigeria, if you don't mind. NNPC, we are not discussing it in terms of buying and selling. NNPC is also a political institution for controlling, for managing the political dimension of Nigeria's oil industry. And I'm going to be a little bit direct. Who owns oil blocks in Nigeria? It's part of Nigeria's petroleum sector politics. And that ownership also determines from whom the crude is being gotten. And therefore, who stands to profit or not profit, who stands to lose political control or not political control when that sector is privatized. Can Atiku Abubakar stand the push that may even come to a shove if he plays this privatization card that could hurt certain political interests?
Well, in 2019, I heard him say, I am going to sell NNPC. Even if they want to kill me, let them kill me. I was blown away by that. So he is one of, if for some of us, he is one of them. So to come out and speak like that, he knows what he's against. He chaired the privatization under the Obasanjo, so he knows how to go about this, and he would have seen the merit of doing that. Yes, I'm sure he's ready to take on them head on. I mean, he's been there. He was there for 8 years as the vice president of this country.
So he knows.
He knows the benefits of doing this.
He could also know the players.
Yeah, he knows the players, and he knows what he's going to be against. I'm sure that's why he used the word that if they are going to kill him, he's ready to do it. So, granted that if he goes ahead to do that, but again, I don't think it's so much of whether whoever comes now will do it. Because, like I said, the former Minister of State Petroleum, Ibe Kachuku, has said, we're going to do this. And now, it didn't happen. During the PIB, when it was under consideration, the PI was under consideration, some of us raised this question. And then the current group CEO said, maybe not now, maybe some few years down the road, let's just have a company that's limited, let's have a limited liability company that's going to be properly managed, and then a couple of years down the road, we'll look into that. And I still believe that's the case. So whoever comes now will do it, because that's the only way to make NNPC
or
profitable.
should do it.
I don't think they have a choice. I don't think they have a choice.
What should the National Assembly be doing for a president who is willing to privatize?
Cooperate to the president 100%. Cooperate, irrespective of the sentiments in your constituency. Cooperate 100%.
Honorable, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for having me.
And now to our thank you for this Sunday. A Malta Guinness brand ambassador, product of Ambrose Ali University with a degree in law, event convener for GLG Communications. She is Omawumi Megbele. Omawumi burst into the limelight in 2007 when she emerged runner-up in the West African Reality Idols reality TV show. She has remained in the reckoning since then, with works which prick our conscience and leave us seeking answers. And with this work, which reflects an unanswered question of an abused child, Omawumi sweeps everything else aside. It is, if you ask me.
If you ask me, now who I go ask? No matter where we see, so we tell where it starts. No be me go talk, be heavy for mouth. If you ask me, the matter for ground, now who I go ask? If you ask me, now who I go ask? No matter where we see, so we tell where it starts. No be me go talk, be heavy for mouth. If you ask me, the matter for ground, now who I go ask? Begin. If you ask me, now who I go ask? No matter where we see, so we tell where it starts. No be me go talk, be heavy for mouth. Oh, if you ask me, the matter for ground. Now who I go ask? Oh, the woman travel, leave her daughter with the husband home alone. Yeah, you know, say I think you see the man is daughter and then they play strongly. Yeah, a month later the daughter say her period delay. I ask her who judge her, she say her daddy only. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to tell her mother. He be like say she gets a ballet. If you ask me, now who I go ask? No matter where we see, so it tell where it starts. No be me the talk, be heavy for mouth. Oh, if you ask me, the matter for ground. Hey, now who I go ask?
And that's our program for this Sunday, but please don't forget to join us in our anti-corruption essay competition under our Anti-Corruption Icons Award in December. Nominate your candidates and let your school please take part in the essay competition. In the meantime, let's join my colleague Marvelous Obemanu for Corruption Story. I'm Wabozen Joko. Good afternoon.
My people, my name na Marvelous Obemanu. If you look your time now, you go see say e remain 20 minutes make 3 o'clock knack. This na the time for Corruption Story. Una welcome.
This na Corruption Story.
Who no know, e no go know. Wetin countryman no know, relax make I tell you. Carpenter, bricklayer, mechanic, cleaner, oga road transport worker, market women, market men dem, even sef civil servants, una own don reach ooo. As una no gree for magu-magu, chere ka m bia, iwa jegudu jera, shi. The time to tell una thank you, e don reach. If you sabi any countryman wey dey do corruption, shege, no dey take eye see corruption or even cheating customer, send the name, wetin him do to corruption tori. Make I tell you as you go send am. If you see any of corruption tori people near you, collect the form, fill am and give them back. You fit also use corruptiontori@gmail.com to send your own. If you send, corruption tori go give the people wey pass award for December 9th, 2022 for where they call day for inside Abuja. If you dey outside Abuja and dem nominate you, corruption tori go pay everything to bring you to Abuja, plus your award, plus etc. Oya, wetin you dey do now? Waka sharp now, begin dey nominate ooo. E go close for November 30th, 2022. Nominate and leave am for corruption tori.
You see, my people talk say countryman no go take him head go test whether the trap wey hunter set for lion go fit catch the dangerous animal. But if the people no sure say the trap go catch lion, how dem go to their farm without fear? Na him make some countryman go put their head to test the trap. But will countryman leave such people wey get mind to protect their people from the lion make dem just die like that? Na the matter wey make the Yaradua Foundation no sleep at all last week. Dem gather people wey sabi to talk about how government and country people go help those Nigerians wey get mind to put their head inside the trap wey Nigeria set for anybody wey wan put hand for corruption. Na these strong Nigerians that they call whistleblowers. The thing wey happen for that event, na him I wan bring you today for corruption tori. Abeg, tanda with us, we dey come.
This na corruption tori.
Who no know, e no go know. Wetin countryman no know, relax make I tell you. Carpenter, bricklayer, mechanic, cleaner, oga road transport worker, market women, market men dem, even sef civil servants, una own don reach ooo. As una no gree for magu-magu, chere ka m bia, iwa jegudu jera, shi. The time to tell una thank you, e don reach. If you sabi any countryman wey dey do corruption, shege, no dey take eye see corruption or even cheating customer, send the name, wetin him do to corruption tori. Make I tell you as you go send am. If you see any of corruption tori people near you, collect the form, fill am and give them back. You fit also use corruptiontori@gmail.com to send your own. If you send, corruption tori go give the people wey pass award for December 9th, 2022 for where they call day for inside Abuja. If you dey outside Abuja and dem nominate you, corruption tori go pay everything to bring you to Abuja, plus your award, plus etc. Oya, wetin you dey do now? Waka sharp now, begin dey nominate ooo. E go close for November 30th, 2022. Nominate and leave am for corruption tori.
This na corruption tori.
We don come back. My people, you know say all these people wey dey do magu-magu dey thief government money in wayorish way, say dem get strong mind o. If they fit bribe bishop or imam, kill policeman, cashier or even lawyer, dem go do am to make sure say government no go fit catch dem. So anybody wey dey open their secret no be their friend and dey fit do anything to that kind person. Na this thing make in 2016 federal government look the matter finish, come find way to protect anybody wey dey expose corruption. That way na him government call whistleblower protection. Government come carry bill send to National Assembly make e become law, say any countryman wey take im head to test whether lion trap go fit catch lion by exposing those who put hand for corruption, nothing go happen to them. For where since 2016 wey government send the bill to National Assembly, nothing don happen. For the talk wey Yaradua Foundation do on Thursday, the Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Awar Rafsanjani, say if National Assembly mean well, they must to pass the bill now.
To date, National Assembly has not deemed it fit to pass the bill. This may be due to various corrupt practices allegation against majority of the members, Senate and House of Representatives who are former governor or state House of Assembly members or local government chairman. We must make sure that it is institutionalized, and the only way it can be institutionalized is for the National Assembly to be the people to make sure that they actually legislate it, and the relevant agencies are also putting it into practice. If there is no any legal framework that protects and ensure that victims of the whistleblowing are given the necessary compensation in terms of protection, it will be difficult to encourage more Nigerians to speak out against corruption.
Rafsanjani come talk say many corruption cases wey don tey for court dey cause another wahala. As the cases dey stay for court, na so corruption dey go there to jam them. Lawyer go begin tell you say im fit see judge, policeman go say im go fit see prosecutor. You no see?
Even those discovery that were done, do you know that our corrupt judicial system has actually freed this money back to the people that were alleged to have taken? This is simply because the fight against corruption is very watering, very baking. Because if it is really real anti-corruption, I cannot understand why such kind of huge amount that is discovered in the public official, you will now return that money to him.
The ICPC Oga, wey be Deputy Director, Corruption Monitoring and Evaluation, System Study and Review Department, Olayinka Ayebayo, come open people eye say na whistleblower na im ICPC take catch many people wey they don carry go court now.
It is actually a worrying situation. It has been noticed, and many people, like the keynote speaker said, that have made reports or disclosures. Some of them found themselves in very unsavory consequence, from their employers and from other sources, and we have taken this into consideration.
National Orientation Agency come put mouth for the matter, talk say for this 2023 election, the mago of election buying and selling, na him the agency dey put eye. Paul Oduenyi, wey be Assistant Director of Press for National Orientation Agency, na him talk this. Oduenyi come talk again say the agency wan carry the message of whistleblowing, which means say something when you see mago something. They wan carry and go meet countryman for village, even for inside their farm, churches and mosque.
You cannot run a system that is openly and brazenly abused and we all keep quiet. If you see what happened during the conventions, it is not a secret any longer that the presidential candidates of all the parties bought their nominations. Anyway, we'll be happy to welcome any of you who wants to participate, who wants to be part of this process. At the appropriate time, once we tidy up some of the things we need to tidy up, we will do some campaigns showing people how to make these reports.
No be only law wey people wey dey put eye for corruption matter dey take protect countryman wey dey expose corruption. The senior program officer for the center wey dey work for media matter, Godwin Onyacholem, talk say the center don get the help of MacArthur Foundation to arrange one better application software wey fit work for computer and Android phones, wey you go fit blow whistle and nobody go know say na you do am.
In 2017, as part of its good governance project, AfricMail, with the backing of MacArthur Foundation, launched Corruption Anonymous, a project designed to build public confidence and support for the whistleblowing policy.
This na corruption theory.
who no know e no go know. Wetin countryman no know, relax make I tell you. Carpenter, bricklayer, mechanic, cleaner, oga road transport worker, market women, market men dem, even sef civil servants, una own don reach ooo. As una no gree for magu-magu, chere ka m bia, iwa jegudu jera, shin. The time to tell una thank you, e don reach. If you sabi any countryman wey dey do corruption, shege, no dey take eye see corruption or even cheating customer, send the name, wetin im do to corruption tori. Make I tell you as you go send am. If you see any of corruption tori people near you, collect the form, fill am and give them back. You fit also use corruptiontori@gmail.com to send your own. If you send, corruption tori go give the people wey pass award for December 9th, 2022 for where they call day for inside Abuja. If you dey outside Abuja and dem nominate you, corruption tori go pay everything to bring you to Abuja, plus your award, plus etc. Oya, wetin you dey do now? Waka sharp now, begin dey nominate ooo. E go close for November 30th, 2022. Nominate and leave am for corruption tori.
My people, for the talk wey happen last week for this matter of how to protect person wey dey expose corruption, Yaradua Foundation, Africmeal, ICPC, Women's Rights Advancement and Protection Agency, RAPA, all of them put hand, show face for the event. You know, see now, if you put your mind, expose corruption, government, country people, they no go leave you to suffer for nothing. Now here we go match break for corruption tori today. My name na Marvelous Obomanu, your tori master. Una baba yo.